Hi, we are Irene and Usue, and we are from the Basque Country, and we are going to talk about how is the coronavirus affecting here and how we have been in the confinement.
Hi, first of all, we want to congratulate all the sanitary workers for all their help and all their work in this pandemic. Even though now we have more freedom, we also have some restrictions. We must have a facial mask when we go outside, and also, for example, we can't go to the parks like you can see in the video. Last week, we couldn't get out of our city, so when we all went outside, it was overcrowded. But now, in this week, we can move through our province, but we can get out of our province. But also, you can see in the videos, we still go very often outside in our town, so it is still overcrowded.
As you can see in the video, this is Aldai Square. That's one of the squares of Laudio, next to the principal square, or the main square where the town hall is situated. And in this square there are some bars, and you can see now is 5 p.m. and there is no one at the street. As you can see in the presentation we have made about Laudio, we are in the Basque Country, so we have like different type of rules depending on the community we live. And here in the Basque Country we can go outside whenever we want, except from elderly people that they can only go outside from 10 to 12 and from 7 to 8. We can also go to drink something in a pub or in a restaurant. And the new rule they have had is that we can go outside with our family or also with friends.
Vale. So last Friday, the 19th of June, it finished the state of alarm, and now in the Basque Country we are able to go wherever we want. And also now we are like in a new normality.
It's all about the presentation of the Basque Country, and we hope you like it.
Hello friends, we are here today to talk a little about our bridge, O Isidro dos Reis, that started to be built in the year 198 and was just built in the year 199. It measures 56 meters and hundreds of cars pass through it every day. In Portugal, things have changed a little. I stopped going to school and started taking online classes at home. I usually go out of the house 3 to 4 times a week to get some exercise and to help my mom with shopping when she needs. I hope you are well.
Where in Portugal things have not changed much. To start, we stopped doing our normal life, like going out on the street or even going to school. Our classes started to be at home instead of school, and more new technology were needed. I usually go out the street 2 or 3 times a week to help my mom to do the shopping and practice some exercise near the river. And in your country, how have things been going?
See you soon!
Where in Portugal, people started to go out on the street a little bit on May 17, when the state of emergency ended. Some have returned to work since then, and the impediments have been decreasing. I go out once a week to go to the store to help my mom.
The state of emergency ended on the 17th of May, and from that day, people started to leave their home a little. We have some limitations such as the use of a mask and social distance. I usually leave the house once or twice a week to do some physical exercise.
Rules prevailing during the coronavirus pandemic in Poland.
2 meters minimum distance between pedestrians. We introduced the obligation to maintain a distance of at least 2 meters between pedestrians. Excluded from this obligation are parents with children who need to care up to 15 years old, people living or farming together, persons with disabilities unable to move independently, persons with a certificate of a need for special education and guidance, valid until cancellation. Obligation to cover the lips and the nose in public places. The obligation applies to wearing masks or any other type of covering of the mouth and nose. What does it consist of? Everyone are required to cover their mouths and nose on the street, during pedestrian traffic, in the offices, shops, service places, and workplaces. Quarantine. The restriction applies to persons who are coming back from abroad, have been in contact with infected or potentially infected person. They live with the person who is referred to quarantine. Public transport. The restriction applies to public transport journeys. What does it consist of? Public transport managers can increase the limit on public transport. How many people can get on board? As much as half the seating as before, or as much as 30% of all seating and standing positions. In this case, the same seating positions must remain free. Religious events. The restriction applies to participation in religious events. What does it consist of? There may be no more than 50 participants at the cemetery during one funeral, excluding those serving as ministers, as well as persons making burial or persons employed by the funeral home or institution.